MOCA new legislation in the pipeline on hoax scholars. Strong rules being framed for penalizing hoax scholar. Top MOCA sources say new legislation in the pipeline. Consultations with the law department being done. Changes in the MOCA rules to penalize hoax scholars soon to deal with hoax scholar menace. No-fly list which could last for years for hoax scholars. Well, we're looking at the government now swinging into action after nearly 12 hoax calls were received by Indian Airlines in just the last 3 days. At this point, as the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Civil Aviation who've come together to collectively crack down on this menace, the MOCA's new legislation we hear that's in the pipeline on hoax scholars that includes strong rules being framed for penalizing hoax scholars. Top MOCA sources tell us new legislation in the pipeline, consultations with the law department being done, changes in MOCA rules to penalize hoax scholars soon to deal with hoax scholar menace. No-fly list, which could last for years for hoax scholars. The government of India at this point looking very sternly into these hoax scholars, a menace that's now gained steam in just the last few days. In fact, in just the last 3 days, we hear nearly 12 hoax calls the Indian Airlines have received, including Indigo, Air India. Let me cut across to Amit Bharadwaj, who's tracking these developments very closely. Amit, over to you on the regulation that the centre right now is mulling over to ensure that these hoax scholars are put on a permanent no-fly list. But that shouldn't be the only deterrent. I just hope that there is more to this, that they are arrested, that they should act as an example for anyone else wanting to do something similar.
Absolutely right, Nabila, and that's what the several ministries and the officials from different ministries of the central government have been pondering upon. And that is why we are breaking down this exclusive news break on India Today. Three-phase, action that we are looking at. MOCA is pondering upon the idea of putting these hoax scholars on no-fly list for several years. This could be actually, they are mulling whether to go for a lifetime ban or a 5-year ban. That is to be decided. But this is definitely going to be a ban for several years that you will not be able to fly by any airlines in India at least. Number 2, changes in the rules of the MOCA BCAS. These are the rules and regulations for security of the airports as to how the airports run, and the penalties that are taken against the errant passengers. So in particular case, that rules will be modified to ensure that these hoax scholars can be also covered under that particular changes of rules that are being pondered upon by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And let me tell you that this is already in a very advanced stage, because for the past 3 days the ministry has been speaking to different officials from different ministries, or whether it be the MHA, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, or other experts were also called in. So there is a major change that is expected as far as the MOCA rules are concerned, and this will bring in very stringent penalty for the hoax scholars. And the third stage is something that we are looking at. Top sources within Ministry of Civil Aviation have told India Today that a legislation is in the pipeline. Nabila, we have to understand this, that the Ministry of Civil Aviation is actually looking at also formulating a legislation, and the Department of Law has been already consulted on that particular front. So there's a possibility that in winter session or in the coming sessions, the Ministry of Civil Aviation could actually table a legislation in the Parliament and get it passed in order to have more strict punishment for these hoax scholars, because we have seen a menace that is happening right now, and the ministry has decided to up the morale of the industry, because the airlines industry has been suffering. The passenger safety is at risk because of these hoax calls. They don't want a situation where the airlines start taking the rules and the guidelines, established safety guidelines for granted, because if you are getting hoax calls, bomb threats every day, hoax bomb threats every day, there's a possibility of lethargy chipping in, and that is why legislation is being pondered upon. The law department has been already consulted on that particular front as well. So what is expected is that after the changes in rules, the legislation could be also brought in. And why that particular aspect is being explored, Nabila, is because currently all these hoax callers are being tried under different sections of the BNS, and the top sources within the ministry believe that BNS is actually not capable of catering the kind of impact that these hoax callers are creating, as far as the financial impact is concerned, passenger safety is concerned, or the delay in the flights is concerned. So a new law will be in the pipeline. Also, they will be approaching the VPN service providers in order to crack these threat calls as soon as possible. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Amit, for joining us with those details.